Welcome to Simply Caroline, a podcast dedicated to women empowerment where we will discuss a bunch of different subjects such as life, parenting, love, business, money, relationships, healing, recovery, addiction, entrepreneurship, and so much more. A podcast I'll do my best to keep simple, fun, and relatable and bring you tools to help you better your life. So thank you for being here. And here's your host, myself, Caroline Blanchard. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being with us again this week. I have another super powerful woman in network marketing this week, Megan Kirby. How are you?
I'm super. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So Megan is a part of the book that just launched a few days ago, I should say. 22 powerful women in network marketing reveal their key to success. And guys, if you don't have that book yet, go get it. It's just absolutely amazing. And the amount of personal development that you will get in there and the tools, yes, for being in the business of network marketing, but also in life in general. When I read Megan's chapter, I was actually very emotional and moved because, yes, she's talking about how she built her business. But Megan, talk a bit about, what were your challenges in general?
Well, I started my business almost 9 years ago. And I think I started for a different reason than many others do. I was in a place in my life, excuse me. I was in a place in my life where I needed something for me, but I also needed some income. I was formerly an elementary phys ed teacher, and I loved my job, never thought I would do anything else. And I'm the mom of 2 children. I have a daughter who's 12, and I have a son who is 9. And he was born with many complex medical challenges. And it was unbeknownst to us at the time of his birth that he has a very rare bone condition. And so we were faced with all these new challenges. As a family, I took a leave from my teaching and for 2 years. And then those 2 years came and I had been dedicated to my family, creating stability in my daughter's life and being there for my son, who was in the hospital for a very long period of time, for over 4.5 months from birth. And then being with him after that for all the therapies and the consecutive follow-ups and surgeries after that. So I needed something for me. And so we in life had different things that we were overcoming. And I didn't know where I couldn't go back to my day job, but I needed to have some kind of income as an independent woman and wanted to have my own money. I wanted that independence. I wanted that freedom, but I also needed something to turn to other than just pouring myself into hospital life every single day. And so that's where I landed on this opportunity where I could work from my phone. And that worked for me. For me, it needed to be flexible. I couldn't have a 9 to 5. And I know so many women can relate to that, whether they want to be at home with their children and that schedule has to be flexible. As moms, we know that. But I needed something extremely flexible. And this came into my life. And I haven't looked back. It's been quite amazing.
Yes, and congratulations, because you did climb the ladder and you're having a lot of success. And we're going to come back to that in a bit because it's easy to say and it's not easy to do. And I also want to touch a bit the stigma about network marketing. But I do want to say that, I totally relate to what you're saying, that you had to get out of the hospital life. My son was in the hospital too. He was a preemie. And I only went through 1 surgery, and oh my goodness, I thought I would have 4 heart attacks. So I don't know how you went through so many surgeries with your son and still breathe correctly right now. Like, that was the longest 4 hours of my life. So you are a strong woman. But what I was going to say is that I felt, and I don't know if it's like that for you, and I still feel this way when I walk into a hospital. I feel like I'm walking in a fifth dimension. Like my whole life, I'm in another field. I can't think about what's going on right now. I can't think about my appointment after the hospital. It seems like when I go to the hospital, that just wiped my day. Like it's another dimension. And maybe it is because I spent a lot of time in the hospitals, but it's extremely hard to have a life while you're doing all these hospital visits. How do you manage that?
Well, as a fellow NICU mom, because you're in the NICU just like me, it's physically and emotionally exhausting. Now, I realize this now because I've done a lot of healing over the past 8 years. My son is 9, turning 10. But in it, when you're in it, it's just something you show up and do. And people ask me or say, you're so strong. But you know what? You don't know how strong you are until you're in it. And every other mom, just like you and I, every other mom would do what they need to do. Like I think when it comes down to things, when you're put in a situation, you show up as best as you can, and everybody's just really doing their best. So I don't know if I can say I actually balance life. I think we try and keep things in harmony. So when something is up, another thing is giving, something has to give. And then when another thing is up, then another thing is down, so there's sort of a bit of harmony.
Yes.
Because I don't know if a balance actually exists, but I can say that I had to find something that was flexible in time, and this, my business now is flexible in time. And what's beautiful about it, people say network marketing has changed my life. Well, let's just keep it simple and relatable to women like us, where it can be life-changing, and not necessarily financially, which it can be, but time. Because when you have the opportunity to spend your time where it needs to be spent or where you want it to be spent, then that is life-changing. Okay, that in itself, like I needed to be with my son. I wanted to be with my family as well. Don't get me wrong there, but having that opportunity of time flexibility, that is life-changing for sure.
Yes, because you also had a little one home, which is double challenge. So congratulations. It's funny because you answered the same thing as me. Some people said like, oh, you're so strong. I don't know how you got through it. And I dismissed it, saying, well, if you were in the same situation, you'd do the same thing, but take the compliment. You are strong. It is, I do believe that we're thrown what we're able to handle, but it's still difficult situations. How's your son today?
Interesting you ask. He's fine, thank you. But we just actually had our 12th surgery. He's in post-op right now, and he had both knees and both ankles operated on. So he wasn't walking for a very long period of time. He's actually in school for the first time today for the full day. But and walking a little bit. He has a wheelchair on the daily, but he's walking and has a little walker as well. It's adorable. But he again, I think I draw from his strength, his perseverance. Being a special needs parent teaches us a whole lot, puts a whole lot into perspective. And life gets busy, okay? Life gets busy, just kids' activities and life and socializing and all the things that we have coming at us. Life gets busy. And when we had my son, we had to pause and say, okay, what's important here? What was important was our health, was being together as a family. Where were we spending our time? And I think that was really important for us to recognize. And it's the same today, is I really value, and I am so grateful for, spending my time where I get to spend it, coming off of a long weekend, we spend it, family, friends, whatever. But his resilience, his strength, I draw from that as well. And I know others draw their strength from me and what I share with them. And I'm like, no, I'm just sharing stories and I hope to inspire you, but I want to create a community that supports others. And we all have our different things, right? Everybody has a story. And no one is less remarkable than another. I think you as a person, Carolyn, I'm so blessed to have met you. You're remarkable. And I think everybody has a story to tell. And it's just, getting that opportunity to share it. And I can't thank you enough for allowing me to share with you today, or, within the book as well.
Well, I need to say that the 22 women in this book were handpicked, and oh my goodness, I will throw myself the biggest compliment. I did an amazing job. Honestly, I did an amazing job, because the quality of women in there is spectacular. But it's also, I feel like, it's going to be lifelong friendships. But what I want to get back to here is, two things. First of all, you talked about establishing your priorities. And I find that, if you get into network marketing just for a hobby or just to get a discount, it's one thing. But if you get into network marketing wanting to make something happen, and that's going to open a whole other subject. But if you get into it wanting something to happen, quite often what's going to happen is that you will have to define your priorities, your goals, your dreams. And, when we talk like that to people who are in the conventional business, more 9 to 5, they all think we're in la la land. They all think like, oh my gosh, you're drinking the Kool-Aid and blah, blah. But I so feel that this should be taught in school to kids, like every single, I wanted to say year, but it's almost like every single month we should reevaluate where am I at? What do I want? Where do I want to go? And I feel like this would give a bigger sense of purpose and a bigger sense of belonging, because you know where you are when you are there. So talk about this a bit, like the personal development, and also, setting your priorities and everything. I'm sure it came hand in hand with the work that you did on yourself to grow your business. It's all a big, circle.
Well, I love the opportunity that I got to earn as I learned. So I went to school and I had my degree, and I taught within my profession that I got my degree for initially for the first 14 years. But then I had to start something new, but it gives you the opportunity to learn as you earn, and you can learn from others. And then I grew as a person, like it's totally professional and personal development. I learned to grow as a leader, but I had skills, and we all have skills that are transferable. So whether you're coming from the corporate side or whether you're coming from nursing, I work with so many nurses and so many teachers. I work with accountants. I work with women that are still in the corporate world. They have skills that we don't ever realize. And you know what, when you said, it needs to be shared like monthly and frequently, because people, we used to dream of it as a child. We dream of all these like things that we wanted to achieve in life. And then sometimes we just get put on this path and think that we can't change. And there's nothing wrong with change. There's nothing wrong with pivoting. And often our industry, which I feel is like, everybody needs to be within our industry, whether it is a side gig or whether it's full time, like I am. Everybody needs a piece of this, because it can fit into your life in different ways, but it allows you to dream. It allows you to follow those dreams that you had as a child and achieve those things that you've always wanted to achieve, truly. And it sounds like la la land, but when you align yourself with the things that you love, your energy it elevates. And when your energy is elevated, you attract like-minded people. And when you attract like-minded people, you are in a position to feel that you can achieve whatever you go after. So when you're aligned, you're in flow. What is that? There's a book about flow, and just where, when you're doing something, it doesn't feel like work, it's passion, it's fun. And that's what it was for me. For me, I think I jumped into this not knowing, not having expectations, soon realizing soon after the opportunity I had at my fingertips and what I could grow with this. And it didn't take long to then reach the top of the company. However, jumping in, I said, I'm just going to take a chance. I'm going to see. And it was the community that kept me there. It was these women that were empowering. Well, first they were welcoming, and it was not uncommon, because in the teaching industry, it's including, it's inclusion, it's inclusivity. You have quite a diverse, a diverse community within teaching, and it's same within this market. I mean, we have women around the world within the small community that I have in my organization, and it's feeling included. It's not feeling judged. It's being welcomed as who you are, for who you are, as you are. And that's pretty darn powerful. That's powerful.
And I think that that's possible because somewhere we all have the same goal. We all want to better our life. And I find like now knowing a lot of leaders in different company, we all have also this piece of wanting to better the world, because we do know that there's a better avenue. You know that if you better yourself, you will by default make a positive impact. Well, more positive than if you're not. But
absolutely.
Yes, I do love, let's talk about the inclusion part, because I know that in my team, I have people who are there basically just for the social. They're happy to make a couple bucks more a month, but what they're really in for, I think often without knowing it, is that it's a community that will just accept and take you where you are, not judge you. Well, most of the time we have black sheep like, anywhere else, but not judge you and then help you go forward. And that is beautiful because, just like you were saying when you started, you were a mom, you were super busy, special needs kid mom, and then plus another daughter, plus a husband, plus a house, plus a job, plus this, plus that. So you end up being, superwoman, but you, Megan, who are you? And then when you enter that world, it feels like it lets you be you, not the mom, not the wife, not the teacher, just you. And sometimes we feel a bit lost at that point. But so I'll let you talk a little bit about that, how it helps to feel included, and also how it helps to find another identity than just the one that we, some don't have kids, but they're, a banker. So their identity is being a banker. And I challenge everyone here to ask someone, what do you do? Maybe not what do you do in life, but talk to me about you. Quite often in the first sentence, if the person has kids, it's going to be said, and it's going to be the profession or whatever they do in life. But it's not who we really are. That's things that we do. So I'm going to stop talking because it's your interview.
Oh my God. Well, no, I love that. Like, honestly, I think it's innate in us as humans to want to be part of something, to want to belong. And oh my goodness, as a special needs mom, I see that even more in our world about being included. My son just wants to be like he goes to a special school, but he wants to be the same. He wants to be included. He wants to be with the boys or the girls. He wants to be involved. And when he is, it changes everything. It changes everything. And so that is innate in everybody, is to want to belong to something and to be accepted as you are, not defined as the mom, not defined as the special needs mom, but who I am, who you are as a person. My goodness. And that's exactly it. The community we have built is that you get to be you. And often, it's often a community of people that you haven't met before. So you actually get to be your authentic self. People aren't saying like, wait, I've never seen this version of you before. But it's just, that's it. It's a version that they haven't seen before because you've shown up as mom for so long, or as the phys ed teacher, or as the banker, or whatever it is. You've shown up as that. And it's so important not to forget who you are. And this is what network marketing, I feel, allows you to be. It gives you the opportunity to show up as you, as that fun-loving, outgoing person that loves to be outside. I love to ski. I love to be active. I love to meet people. I'm super social. I love to read books. Like, this is me. And that is pretty powerful in itself, is that no judgment, right? We're here to empower each other. We're here to validate who you are as the person that you are, and not who you've had to step into the role as, as that, and that's so common. I mean, we see it in our friends, we see it in ourselves, as you can lose yourself, and being there for your children is not a bad thing, but it's not all of who you are. That's it. It's not all of who you are. And you are much more than just those things that you think define you. Yeah. And everybody has a story to share. So goodness.
The story of the oxygen mask. And I said it before, but I remember the first time I flew with my son, he was 9 months old, and we had been through a lot. And then the stewardess just said, okay, so if ever something happens, put the oxygen mask on you first, and then on your baby if you're carrying a baby, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so cold-hearted. Like, why is she saying that? And, at that time, I couldn't add it up in my head. I was just like, no, of course I'm putting the mask on him first. But then as you grow in life and you start understanding that if you don't take care of yourself, everything does fall apart around you, because you're not the best version of yourself. And I really want to come back to, you talked about versions, and that I think people that are in network marketing now will understand. And I feel like it's quite often a reason why people will misjudge or leave the industry is that we try to be the version we want to be of ourselves, because we discover what our dreams are, or, like when you're a kid, when I was a kid, I wanted a horse in my backyard. Like, we were living in an apartment. That's how far-fetched it was. But for me, in my head, it was still possible. And I was living in the city of Montreal, like in the middle of buildings. I never got my horse, but, because I was a kid, people would let me think that, because it made me happy. But as we get older, when we have dreams that are a bit out of reach, people will bring you back in your box and say, like, come on, be realistic.
Yeah.
I heard that so often, be realistic, which is so boring, by the way. Well, for me anyway. But
Totally.
My point to this is that people around you will start seeing you, finding back your inner child, dreaming, seeing bigger, and they will not like that version of you because they're not there. So you will start hearing, you will start hearing, like, who are you becoming? Like, do you see what it's doing to you? Can you elaborate on this a bit? I'm sure you lived it too.
Well, absolutely. And what you just said reminds me of a Jim Rohn quote, and it says, you become like the 5 people you surround yourself with. And when you start surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, you're able to go after those, dreams that are a bit outside of your reach, and go after those things. But and it doesn't matter what industry, if you're trying to get fit and you have someone constantly feeding you cupcakes, you're like, come on, no. But you become you become like those people that you are within your community. And so it's okay to grow. And sorry, I'm totally off track. I totally just lost my line of thought here. But it's important, if you have dreams and goals, don't let anything hold you back. Don't let the people around you be naysayers hold you back, because usually what happens, like you said, is your big dreams scare them. They're not scaring you. You go after them. And I mean, there's a thing that, like, people's opinions don't pay your bills, right? Like, don't let other people's opinions change the direction of your journey. And your journey is your journey. And that is what is important, is to stay true to what aligns with you, and what aligns with you and your husband, you and your family, whatever it is, but stay true to what aligns with you. And I think that's what's important. So it's find those passions, find those things that bring you joy, find those groups that include you and accept you for who you are. But when you find something that aligns with you, follow it. Trust your gut. It's like that gut instinct, right? Follow that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a bit funny. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit funny because I'm listening to you talk, and what comes to mind is that, if you like cooking and you join a cooking club, no one will say anything about that. They will just be like, okay, she likes cooking and she wants to share recipes. If you
Mhm.
like running, there's so many running groups out there. But that just shows like the need to identify to people who love the same thing as you know,
Mhm.
because quite
Mhm.
often that's what we don't have. And unfortunately, we have to segregate a lot. Like, okay, I have this group for this, I have this group for that, I have this group for this. But I feel that, you know, our industry is a bit that is that we choose to live a bit more freedom. And I'm saying
Mhm.
a bit because it can be a lot, but it can also be a hobby, which allows you more freedom in your spending. It can be for the social side, which allows you more freedom into your thinking and into belonging to a group. But, you know, the idea is really that belonging is so important. And I think even more for us women.
Mhm. Mhm. It's finding that community is being part of something, that support network, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely believe it. I absolutely. Mhm.
When I actually went through my separation, I kept saying, thank God I had my company because that kept me standing because you
Goodness.
know it was there by default. And I had
I
to.
absolutely relate to that. On some of my darkest days, where would I turn? I would turn to my team and my organization. It was the light at the end of the tunnel when days were so long, or my son was in a surgery and it didn't go well, or whatever it was. They were there. They were there without judgment. Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
So let's talk a little bit about, you know, what is your company like? What do you provide as a service or as a product? What's your passion in your company?
Well, like I shared before, I was formerly an elementary phys ed teacher. Okay, so I didn't do my makeup on the daily. Okay, so this version of who I am now is a version that many people didn't see about me. I would wear a little bit of makeup, but I'm in the beauty and health industry. Excuse me. And our flagship product was a mascara. So I could actually wear mascara. I always had blonde eyelashes. So that was one thing I would wear every day. And so when I saw the opportunity of sell mascara from my phone, like literally work from anywhere, there's Wi Fi or data, I was like, I can do mascara. Okay. And that is where it all started for me. And it was just sharing about mascara. And so now, though, we have incredible. So we have, cosmetics or skincare that it has incredible, great ingredients, clean ingredients, cruelty-free ingredients. But within our team, within my organization, within the community we've built, the women, their mission is to uplift those around them, and they on the daily they show up and do this in their communities and online. They uplift, they validate, they empower. It's amazing to be part of. We're part of something that's huge. We My company, one thing that is close to my heart, because I have many friends that have gone through this, but our company, the mission behind it is to help adult survivors of child sexual abuse. And so we provide a retreat. Actually, there's two now in the US, and there's going to be a third one built, but there's two free retreats for people to go and heal. And so knowing that you are part of a bigger purpose and helping people heal, it's pretty, I have goosebumps. It's pretty
Yeah, well,
powerful.
I have to say, you know, it's pretty unusual to go in that kind of support of organizations, and
Mhm.
congratulations because it is so needed. Well, a lot of
Mhm.
things are needed, but you know, wow, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great cause to actually support. And I get what you say about being part of something bigger. And
Mhm.
not to downplay that, but I want to come back to the cosmetic because I have people to this day after 11 years, they're like, are you still doing that cream thing? And I'm like, yeah, that cream thing. Yeah. Um, and it's funny because I was not too much into beauty either, never really
Mhm.
took care of my skin or whatever. But when we start being passionate about it, it's also because we start understanding and learning
Mhm.
what putting clean ingredients on your skin will do as opposed to
Good for
something
you.
else, clean makeup as opposed to something else. So we become passionate about sharing this because we know people are using those cosmetic and they are using those mascaras and all of this. So we want to say, hey, I have a cleaner version, you know?
There's nothing wrong with sharing that something you're passionate about. And that's exactly it. I learned as I was in the business, right? I learned about this, and you don't know until you know, if that makes sense. Like, I am definitely conscious, and having a child with special needs, I was conscious of his diet. And so we were conscious of what we were just as a family eating, and what we were feeding to him and all of ourselves. So that changed our routine at home. And then I started getting into this, and I was selling mascara, and I was like, what is so good about this product? Like, why? And then I started realizing, because I didn't know what I had formerly been using. And now I realized that there is a bit of a better way, and there was a better option out there. It's not always for everybody, but that's okay. It was for me, and I loved it, and I wanted to share it. And I grew a passion. That's exactly. So I didn't know until I knew. And now, like, I share about a collagen. I did not know that our body depletes at a collagen after a certain age. I've learned. And when you learn new things, I think you're doing a disservice if you don't share it. And that's the beauty of our industry, you know?
Yes. So to all of you out there who think we're annoying, well, maybe we are to you, but we're just trying to share what we've discovered. And the thing is, like, I don't know about you, but when I share information or products, I don't take, excuse me, I don't take the answer personally. I generally share to share. So, whether you say no or yes, for me, I feel like I've said what I had to say. So it's not about being annoying or finding a customer. It's about sharing the information. And that is one thing that I would really love for people to understand. Of course, we want to find customers, but we're sharing because we are also passionate about it. And we're truly aware that not everyone can be your customer. Have you ever been called annoying?
Oh, yeah, way back in the day. And I used to send long-winded messages. My goodness. And you don't know until you know. I learned, and in the business, no, not in just our industry, in anything in life. When you do something and it doesn't work out, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're wrong or doing it. You tweak it and you do it again. And that's where we learn. And that's actually, I have a team motto, and it's courage, confidence, beauty. Okay. Because it takes courage to take a chance on yourself, to learn something new. I wasn't a makeup person, but I've learned. I watched a whole lot of YouTube videos. I learned from my peers. I learned from the industry. I did not know what that bronzer went on my cheeks. I thought it went all over. These are the small things that I learned. And after putting it all over, I learned it wasn't right. I tweaked that. I learned better. But this is the whole thing, is that it's a journey and everybody's on it with you. And if you can do it in a place where you're supported, oh my goodness, it's fun. It is so much fun. But and yeah, I can't encourage people enough to stop playing small. Step into who you are and bring all that you have to the table, because life is short. Life is too short to not play big, to be playing small. Life is too short to play small.
Yes. Yeah. And that's when I say find back the inner child, like the one who wanted the horse in the backyard. Maybe it could have been possible, but absolutely. Yes, play big and dream big as well. And unfortunately, that's one thing we lose, I feel, as we grow older, is the ability to dream, because we're trying to be too realistic. And what I love about this industry, and that's probably why people think we're in La La Land, it's just that we encourage people to find back those dreams. It doesn't mean, that if you dream of buying a castle in England, that it's going to happen. But why stop dreaming it? Just because you think it's not going to happen? You can still dream it and, at least you take steps towards something, and having hope and dreams also keeps you looking forward to the next day.
Oh, totally does. Totally does. I always plan things, whether it's I'm planning for my weekend or I plan for my Friday night. I love having things to look forward to. And it gives you purpose to keep going, to keep showing up. Like whether it's kids have a pet day on Friday, I'm going to take them somewhere, or go out to the park. It doesn't even have to be something like a restaurant or whatever, but have things to look forward to. Plan things in your calendar. Set a goal, work towards it. It has you showing up every day. Now, people might think we're in la la land, but it takes work, right? Our industry, a lot of people, that is a common misconception that you get in and you go big. It doesn't happen like this. It's network marketing. There are things we do every single day and we show up for our business. And that's it though. It's what you put in. Whatever you put in, you will get back, right? When you work your business, it will end up paying off in the end. But that's a common thing.
So what would you say is the big difference between someone like you who makes it to the top and someone who after 6 months is like, this is not working for me?
After 6 months, I honestly, I say to everybody, I say, give it a year, give yourselves a year, because that confidence is going to grow. And as if you're coachable. So I'd say, it's important to know what they've done. It's important to see, are they open to being coached? Are they open to brainstorming and trying new things? And that, I think, having that believing in possibility, okay, that dream, that believing in possibility, believing that things will work out, no timeline set, but being open to trying new things, I think is a key component within our industry. And if you're open to trying new things, then your mentor or someone within the business can help you tweak what you're doing and coach you to trying something new, because honestly, if I can do this industry, if I can do this business, then anybody can. This is the non-makeup wearing, non-skincare person. And if I can do it, then I really do believe that anybody can do this if they want to. But sometimes we are in our own way. Sometimes we are in our own way telling ourselves we can't do this or we can't do something. And those are our own insecurities that are being a bit too loud. You need someone to step in and say, no, you can do that. And that, I love being that person. I love being that person to say, no, girl, I see it in you. I know you can do this. And let's do this together, because doing something together, more the merrier. And doing something together is more fun. And to achieve a goal or a dream together and have people rallying behind you is so special. Right? No one likes to go at it alone. Being an entrepreneur can be a lonely thing, but within our industry, you're never alone, right? You're never alone. There's always people to brainstorm with. There's always people to learn from. There's always people to coach you. This is it. Yes, it's your own business, but you're never alone. Huge, amazing part of our industry.
You're working for yourself, but not by yourself. So people, you can see that we're passionate about this business, and there's a reason. We've both been in for over a decade. We kind of know a little. Well, Megan is approaching the decade before she corrects me. But, there's a place for everyone. There's a product for everyone. There's no one company that does it all, and there's no one company that is perfect for everyone. I always say, find what you're passionate about. Find a company that aligns with your personal core values. And if you have that, it's a pretty good start. But Megan, to finish, I would ask you, and that could go for people in network marketing, but also people in everything. How do you work on quieting, this voice? Because it's not just in our industry, that's everywhere. That's as a mom, that's as a girlfriend, as whatever your job is. We always have, most often we have this little voice saying, no, you can't do this and blah, blah. How do you manage that and quiet it?
Yeah, that inner critic. We all have that inner critic, hey? I've heard it referred to as an itty bitty shitty committee.
That's good.
You want to kick that little committee out of your head. But how have I quieted it? I think being around like-minded people is important because they're gonna squash your fears. They're gonna be if you say it out loud that no, I can't do that. They're gonna be like, no, girl, you can. So if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, whether online or in person. I do focus a lot on professional development, but also personal. And so I read books. I listen to fabulous podcasts like yours. I listen to a lot of positive and motivational people, whether in the industry or not. And I really look to better myself. So if I struggle with confidence or with, a lot of people go through periods of their business where they feel imposter syndrome when you're showing up as someone you're not. What are people going to say about me? This is not really who they know me as. That's okay. You just have to remind yourself this is a version of you they haven't seen yet, right? But that confidence of showing up as that version comes from being validated in what you do. So just look at the facts. Look for the facts. So look at the things you've accomplished. Celebrate your wins, whether small or big. And when you say like, oh, people have sold mascara before. People are buying mascara. I can sell mascara too. People will buy from me. Oh, I sold a mascara. Okay, I've made sales. Ooh, what is happening here?
It's all good.
Sorry about that interruption. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened, but look for the facts, because when you're not focusing on your wins and things you've achieved, then that little committee is going to come in and be like, you haven't sold a thing this week, but hold up a second. If you kick that little committee out, you're going to say, no, I have sold in the past and I can do it again. So it's a lot of personal development through reading, podcasts, surrounding myself with the right community of people. I think that's really important. Easier said than done, but there's a ton of free content out there, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whoever you follow. But it's important to always be pouring in the good stuff and pushing out those doubts. But that's like my motto: courage, confidence, beauty, where people take the courage to jump into something, they have the courage to believe in themselves and jump into the opportunity. And when they do, their courage grows by doing, because your courage only grows by doing. When you start doing things and you fail from them, when you do something and then fail and then learn from that and do again, your courage will grow. Okay. And then when you start gaining that confidence and confidence in your skills and yourself, my goodness, you shine from the inside out, and your energy will simply attract people just like that. And I think
Thank you. That's so well said. Thank you so much, Megan, for being with us. And it just reminded me of a friend I had. Well, I still have, but I whatever. Whenever I would say something like, I can't do this, or oh, I'm so silly, or whatever, those little things that we say to ourselves, he would be like, excuse me, can you not talk like that about my friend? And I was just like, at first I was confused. So find a friend that is actually not letting you talk about their friend that way. I thought it was great because you start catching yourself. And yes, positive is key. And that's not being in La La Land. It's focusing on what works. And focusing.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Not everything's going to be perfect. It's okay to have those down moments and allow yourself those emotions. Allow yourself to be like, that didn't work. But then don't sit there too long. Get up and change it. Do it again, because you can do better. Now you're doing it with experience, right? If you've done something already, know that you're coming in with experience. You're not just starting fresh again. But yeah, that's it. So allow yourself those moments of down, because you have to have those. It's a range of emotion. You can have positive moments, you can have negative moments, and they're both very valid. But don't stay in that negative space too long. Move forward, Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
thank you so much. And people, if you want to reach Megan, I'm going to put all of her information with the podcast. You can also
Absolutely.
follow her on Instagram, Facebook,
Yes.
Megan Kirby. And you can read her story in the book that you can find on Amazon, 22 Powerful Women in Network Marketing, reveal their key to success. Her story is absolutely beautiful. And you will see she dives deeper than what we did in the interview. But Megan, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone for being with us again this week. And I will see you next week. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.